Hey babes, and welcome to Gore&Gossip. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Nicole, and this is your weekly deep dive into all things terrifying, true crime cases, cold-blooded killers, and the occasional creepy conspiracy.
Plus, haunted dolls, cursed mirrors, and that one time your aunt swore her house was built on a portal to the underworld.
If it's bloody, bizarre, or just plain bone-chilling, we're talking about it.
And yes, we're bringing the gossip too, because what's a murder without a little side-eye?
So lock the doors, light a candle,
and let's get into it.
Hi guys! How's everyone's week?
Hopefully it's going a lot better than our crazy week that we've been having.
Yeah. My child, we were just talking about it, my child's been on like a hunger strike. She decided she was going to eat for like 2 days and then decided today was going to be the day that she stopped again after she's been like on a hunger strike for 2 weeks. This kid's
girl.
like full of just like cheese at this point. I don't know. There's nothing else.
She just wants cheese.
That's just okay. Cheese, yeah.
I get it.
It is what it is.
She just wants girl dinner, really.
Yeah, she does. She does just want girl dinner. She literally ate like strawberries and blueberries for dinner and didn't touch anything else.
Oh.
And is now making my husband give her a banana.
Well, she wants her fruits. That's
she
good,
loves
right?
fruit. Loves fruit.
Oh my gosh,
I can hear her again. I gave her the banana in hopes it would calm her down. It did not.
It's not. She's just gonna be kind of in the background.
Yeah, so you might hear her. She's a little crank today.
But we need to talk about this latest episode of Euphoria. Sorry.
Yes. Okay, I think it's just like a thing right now. The season's out. You guys know we've been talking about it. So we're just going to make it a thing where we're going to talk about it every week. I literally right before we started, I was like, wait, I'm going to say this again anyway. So like, let's just stop and record. Because every time I think I know where this season is going, an episode hits and I'm like, what did I just watch?
What just happened?
Because what was spoilers for anybody that's about to listen to this? If you have not watched it, you should already know that if you've listened to our previous episodes. Because what the fuck was that Cassie Godzilla scene? What the fuck was that?
It was so unnecessary and
so
and like this is where I think like Sam Levinson is so weird. He's so weird, and he has this weird fascination with weird shit, and I don't like it.
He normally does a fairly good, I don't even want to say he does a good job of hiding it, because he really doesn't. He just does weird projects that work, and it's like, yeah, okay, like, sure, this is weird, but it's good, you know, like, whatever, we just go with it. And then he does something.
And this episode was that something.
And it was basically like, I felt like we were going back to like Kat's arc, kind of, where he just like really did whatever weirdness he wanted to do with that. And then
I think it's worse.
Now we're back to weirdness again.
There's a few things that kind of remind me of like iCarly and Victorious, like, you know, where there was like unnecessary feet involved, unnecessary like weird shit involved, and I'm like, this is so weird. I almost skipped like the first 10 minutes because I'm like, I don't want to watch this. I had my windows open like because it was hot as fuck here.
You just have somebody's walking by
and I'm like, someone is totally gonna hear all of this and be like, what is going on in that apartment? So
it was definitely an interesting, and then I just need Maddie away from Alamo so bad.
Yeah, I think that was probably, I don't know where that's gonna go.
I know. I said to one of my friends, I was like, I feel like Maddie is so like, I don't know if tenacious is the right word, but like that's the one that's like coming to like, but she's like so like she like calculated too, that it's like, is she going to be able to outsmart him, or like is this going to be what takes her down? Like what like stops her final, like, and not that she's doing anything bad, but like,
no,
you know what I mean, like she's doing, like she's looking into a market, like, and she's right, like that was a great thing for her to look into and get into, Was he the right choice though? And is like with the I don't know if you watched the preview for next season, or not for next season, for next
No, I
episode.
didn't.
So in the preview for next episode, she like says to Alamo, do you want me to tell you or no?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In the preview for next episode, she tells Alamo that the girls, like, he should give the girls like more of a break. And he like claps back at her and he was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, kind of a deal.
Oh,
And yeah, and he was like, a break, like, and I was like, oh shit. And I was like,
Maddie, do you know what he did to Rue?
yeah, well, that's the other thing. Do you think?
I don't think she died. I think she got.
I didn't know if I was gonna say it or not, and then you said.
Oh, so sorry, guys.
It's all good. It's all good.
I don't.
You don't know what happens, so we don't know what happens.
I don't think she died. I think that would be a terrible way for Sam to get rid of her.
Yeah.
I think she's probably going to be knocked out. Someone's going to find her. It will be probably one of Lori's people.
Maybe, yeah. Or he doesn't do anything, and
he just
basically
scares her.
Yeah, he just does it to scare her, and like Maddie basically like saved her in a way. I keep seeing that theory, and I do heavily agree with that. I do think that like his conversation with Maddie in the car about Rue might have saved her.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, but I don't know because Sam is so psychotic. She could be dead.
Yeah, you never know with him. You never know what you're gonna get. You never know with him.
We never know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really concerned about Nate. Nate's fucked.
Oh god, Nate.
That is so unnecessary too. I do not need to see his appendages getting ripped off.
I just want to know why we thought that was the way Nate's story needed to go. Like, I fully get the popular guy downhill, like, you know, him not getting everything that he wants and not succeeding. Like, sure, fine.
For sure.
But like, do we need to see him getting tortured every week?
No.
Like, why are we doing this? It just feels stupid. Like, the first time, like, all right, whatever.
I thought that was funny the first time. The
Yeah.
second time, I'm like, okay, just kill him. Just kill him then. Because like he's like, I have the money. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I have lots of feelings about this season, and I think it's gonna end terribly. Just like a few other shows that are going on right now, like The Boys. I know that this series finale is gonna suck because the last few episodes have sucked. Like,
I haven't watched it. This is not a show that I've watched or been into.
I would suggest you watch it, but it's a little too real for everything that's happening in the world.
Yeah.
So it's a little much right now. But every episode that they've released.
That's how I feel about like Handmaid's Tale, and I want to watch The Testament really bad. So I never finished The Handmaid's Tale, not just because of that. I just never finished it.
Yeah.
And then I really want to watch The Testament, but I'm like, are we in a good place where I could watch this right now? I don't know.
I don't know if you should finish Handmaid's Tale.
I don't know. I know what happens. Like, I do know what happens. I just haven't like physically sat down to finish watching it.
Like The Testaments more. I like The Testaments a little more because it's a little more funny. I'm sorry, they make jokes, so it's a little more funny. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's like a younger view of Gilead, and I think that's
interesting because I think that's a very interesting like perspective into Gilead.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and it's a little more hopeful too. I'm not going to give away everything.
I do know things that happen in the Testament. Like, I've already seen tons and tons of spoilers about the books and about everything. Like, I spoil everything for myself, so like it's fine. But I do know like some things. We just won't say it because I want everybody,
honestly,
if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
And we'll keep it that way for you guys. But yeah, I have heard things that happen with it, and I do want to watch it. I'm just not sure.
Yeah, I think you don't have to finish Handmaid's Tale, especially because you already know what's going to happen.
I don't think I have to finish it to watch The Testament, but I do know what's going to happen. So
yeah, so I think you could start it if you're, I don't know, maybe like on a wine night when you're not feeling so down.
Yeah. On another note, though, still same books, but on another note, I watched Off Campus.
Was it
Girl, I
good?
watched the whole thing yesterday.
Was it
The
good?
entire 8 episodes. So at first I was like, am I really into this? Do I actually like this? But this is what happens with Prime Video and their freaking book
Yes.
talk to movie or book talk to show,
Mhm.
like romantasy stuff, or no, romance stuff, is that every time I'm like, it's low budget, I don't know how I feel about this. The acting can be and then I get fucking sucked in every single time.
That's
And
how
then
they
I'm
get
like,
you.
damn it, now I'm watching this, now I want more. I finished it last night and I was like, this was so good. Now I need to read the books because now I need to know what happens with Dean and Allie. Like, I need to know what happens. So I'm like, now I gotta read the damn books.
Spoiled the books for
Yeah.
herself.
I know. I was like, which is fine. Like, I already knew that going into it. And like that's been like my thing lately, is just like watching whatever Amazon like or Prime puts out, and then being like, oh, that was actually pretty good. Now I'm gonna read the books, and then I read them, and I'm like, oh, these are actually pretty good. Like I did that with My Fault, with the My Fault series. I never read those before, and then I read them. Actually, I never finished them because they started to get really annoying.
You're like, I already know the plot.
Yeah, they started to get really annoying. I was like, oh god, they're so annoying. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna stop. Sorry for anybody that likes it. I do like it. I do like them a lot. My Fault London is like my favorite. I think I told you guys recently that I was like one of the very few movies that like I'll like sit there willingly and be like, I'm gonna watch this again.
I'm gonna watch this again.
Besides animated movies, we don't count animated movies when I'm talking about rewatching, because I will rewatch an animated movie 5 million times and not care.
And not just because of your child.
Yeah, no, I think I watched Bluey more than her, to be quite honest with you.
Honestly,
like
Bluey's pretty good.
Oh, Bluey's so good.
I think everyone should watch
Let me tell
Bluey.
you, there are, because there are so many important like life lessons in Bluey, and like the way that they like show handling certain emotions, and like it's just very well done. There's people who do like actual psychological breakdowns of that show, like for like their school thesis and stuff, and then they'll make a video about it, and I'm like, this is so true. I'm like, this is so true. It's crazy. And there's a movie coming out in like a year or two. I think it might be next year. I'm not sure. I'm so excited for it. You have no idea. Emery could care less about Bluey. We're going to go see it because I want to see it.
Because it's actually just for you.
If anything, I'll leave her home and I'll go with my niece and nephew and my sister instead.
Sorry. That's the way it's going to be.
I don't know. I just really like it. It's a good show.
It is. It is a good show.
A good show. Yeah.
Even if you're not a parent, you have no children in your life, I suggest you watch it.
I do suggest you watch it. It's really good.
It will help you to learn how to regulate your emotions as
Yeah,
an adult.
it really does. Yeah, sometimes like I like they like the way they handle certain things. Sometimes I'm like, wow, that was really helpful.
You're like,
and
wait.
Then I like got to take a second when like something's happening, and I'm like, okay, let's use our Bluey knowledge right now. Let's channel our inner Chili and Bandit. I had to think of the dad's name. I forgot it for a second. Oh, also, if you can see my bookshelves are done.
Your bookshelf is finally
They're finally there.
And it's cute. It's adorable.
Vampire. Okay, wait, so that's
section?
not. Yeah, okay, so that's not a vampire book. It just was the only book that would fit there because the rest of my vampire books wouldn't fit there. So they're. I don't even remember where I put the rest of them. Oh, they're in the corner where you can't see, like on the other side of those. It's like my the House of Night books. It's like over there.
So good.
Like over there, yeah, over that way. And then the rest of my vampire books are right there. They had to be somewhere where I could see them.
Love it so much. Well, today's case, guys, we're gonna be
our like 20
I know, I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
It's also based on a TV show, The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, which is on Disney Plus. Same with Bluey and all of the other shows that we were kind of talking about.
This is a really, really good show, I will say. We obsessively watched it. Like obsessively watched it. It's really good.
It's so good. So, I know that the word skinwalker is like a hot topic among like the cryptid world, and obviously This ranch doesn't mainly focus on skinwalkers in itself. It's
Correct.
mostly about like UFOs and UAPs and like weird radiation that is around the ranch. So if you're scared of that and you don't like me saying the skinwalker word, don't worry, because it's not even about them. So
Yeah. I like it. I just have to say really quick, the guy, I can't remember his name, but the main guy that like
oh
comes
my
in and
god,
like
yeah. I love him.
I love that the way he says UFOs. And when they changed it to UAPs and he started saying UAP, not UFO no more. Who the
No
fuck am
more.
I? No more anymore. I was depressed when we like watched. We were like, oh, there's a new
UFOs.
season out, and then we started watching. He said UAPs, and I was like, where's UFOs?
Where's UFOs? I
Where's
love that
guy?
guy. He's
It was
so
so
funny.
funny. Yeah, he
I
is
love
really funny.
him.
The way
Okay.
he talks is interesting. Okay,
I
I'm
love
done.
him.
Sorry.
I don't know. I love a scientist that has been brought on by a billionaire to come and
Yeah.
check out what's going on. I don't
He's
know.
funny. He's really interesting too.
He's actually like a really cool guy.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're gonna get into the case now. So there's a place in northeastern Utah where scientists refuse to walk alone at night. A place where ranchers claim they watched glowing portals open in the sky, where cattle vanished without tracks, and where military investigators recorded strange aerial objects and then locked large parts of the findings away. Some people believe it's a hotspot for UFOs. Others think it's haunted. Some say it sits on top of an unknown natural phenomenon. And according to Native American legend, it may be cursed. This is the story of Skinwalker Ranch. And we're diving into every major event, every witness account, and every scientific investigation, and every terrifying theory connected to the most infamous paranormal property in America. And so before it became famous and before there was TV crews and billionaire investigators arrived, Skinwalker Ranch was just another stretch of isolated land in Utah's Utah Basin. But in the basin itself, there was always a strange reputation. The region is a rugged desert surrounded by mountains, sparse towns, and huge skies, and also endless silence. And according to local tribal history, that silence hides something ancient. The ranch sits near land historically connected to the Navajo Nation and the Ute Indian tribe. And one of the darkest legends tied to the area involves the Skinwalker. And in Navajo belief, a skinwalker is not a ghost. It's someone who is a witch, who's able to shapeshift and associated with evil rituals and spiritual corruption. In traditional stories, skinwalkers can disguise themselves as animals, wolves, coyotes, massive black creatures with glowing eyes. And according to some legends, the basin became cursed after conflicts between the tribes centuries ago. But now it's important to say this carefully and respectfully. Much of what modern paranormal culture says about skinwalkers has been sensationalized or distorted from actual Navajo spiritual beliefs. But
Mm-hmm.
the legend became attached to this ranch permanently, and by the 1990s, the stories exploded into something much larger.
Mm-hmm.
Because in 1994, a ranching family, Terry and Gwen Sherman, bought the property. And at first, it looked perfect. It was remote, affordable, and had a huge, wide open grazing land. But almost immediately, things started feeling wrong. The Shermans later claimed they found heavy chains attached to the property when they moved in, chains mounted unusually high on fences and posts, as if someone had been trying to restrain something enormous. At first, they laughed it off, but then the animals started acting strangely, dogs barking into empty darkness, and cattle bunching together in panic.
Oh my god. What I'm telling you guys, watch it. There's literally a scene where all of the cows are literally like all of the cattle is like acting so weird and like they're all in like this one
So
like
weird.
spot. Oh my god, it's so weird.
Weird.
It's so creepy.
It is so creepy.
Yeah.
And like, oh my god, it gives me
Oh,
chills.
and something bad like happened and like I'm not gonna say like what
Yeah.
happened or like what give it away, but like it basically was why, but like nobody has any clue why it happened. They couldn't figure it
Mm-mm.
out. There was radiation level, like it was crazy. Okay,
It's
that's all I'm gonna say. But it
insane.
was crazy. Oh my god, the cattle was freaking me out.
There were unexplained sounds outside at night, and then came the creature. One evening, the family spotted what looked like a massive wolf near their livestock, but this wasn't normal. Witnesses described it as impossibly large, almost like bigger than a human almost. The animal allegedly approached the ranch without fear. And Terry Sherman reported oh my god. Terry
I'm
Sherman
rubbing off on you.
reportedly grabbed a rifle and shot it point blank. And the creature barely reacted. He fired again, still no reaction. Then another shot, and finally the animal walked away into darkness. And when Sherman tracked it later, the prints reportedly vanished. There was no blood, no body, nothing.
It was a werewolf.
It was a werewolf instead. 100%. He took off.
He took off. He had his tracks and everything.
Literally. Just scuffed them
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
That story alone would have sounded insane, but it was only the beginning. The next incidents became far more disturbing and actually were documented in newspapers at the time.
Yes.
The Shermans began losing cattle. Some vanished entirely, no tracks left behind, no bodies, while others were found dead under bizarre circumstances. Now, cattle mutilation stories have existed across the US for decades, obviously,
Absolutely.
starting in the literally like 1920s. But what
earlier than that, yeah.
Earlier. I don't know timelines.
Yeah. Way earlier, but yes, yeah.
But what allegedly happened at Skinwalker Ranch became one of the most discussed examples ever reported. Animals were found with missing organs, surgical-looking cuts, complete drainage of blood, no signs of struggle, no predator tracks, and in one case, a prize cow reportedly disappeared after the family watched it walk behind the trees. Listen, the trees, there's something in the trees.
It's a vampire.
It's a vampire, guys.
If you're not watching, you can't see me. I'm literally sitting here pointing at my Twilight books.
Twilight. It's Robert Patterson, actually.
Yeah. It's Edward Cullen.
When they searched moments later, the cow was gone. And after another incident involved a calf fitted with a radio tracking device, the signal suddenly stopped. Investigators later found the calf dead and mutilated. The details horrified even experienced ranchers. And then things got stranger than dead livestock. The Shermans began seeing lights in the sky. And I'm just saying, like, this area, like, Utah freaks me out. Same with Nevada.
Yeah.
Like, actually, like, we would drive through those states to get down to California all the time. Hated driving in the desert at night.
I can imagine.
Hated it. I don't know what it is, but I just don't like that area. It gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
It's just not
for sure.
great. And it's
I mean, weird shit takes place out there. That's why.
There's no one around for like miles.
No.
Miles and miles.
Yeah.
And so while the Shermans were seeing the lights in the sky, it was not an ordinary aircraft. It was not helicopters. They were silent objects, just floating orbs, like strange blue spheres moving through the property at impossible speeds, sometimes hovering, sometimes vanishing instantly, sometimes appearing to intelligently react to the observers.
Mm-hmm.
One family member described watching a glowing object move through a field silently before disappearing into the air. And the story started spreading throughout the region, and eventually, someone very wealthy heard about them. So this literally happened 2 years after the Shermans moved in. In 1996, millionaire businessman Robert Bigelow purchased the ranch. And Bigelow wasn't just rich, he was deeply interested in UFOs and paranormal research. If you watch any other like paranormal or UFO show, you've heard of Robert Bigelow.
Yeah.
He's very involved with it. He founded the National Institute for Discovery Science, known as NIDSI.
Yes, is good. I'd say NIDSI, something like that.
NIDSI. It's your East Coast accent, my Midwestern accent.
Yeah.
And and unlike ghost hunters on reality television, these investigators included scientists, former military personnel, veterinarians, and
Mm,
researchers. And
yes.
and
He
their
put money out
he
for this.
literally put so much money into this shit.
Money
Um,
out for this, yeah.
and their mission was to determine whether something genuinely unexplained was happening at Skinwalker Ranch. For years, the investigators monitored the property using cameras, motion sensors, radiation detectors, night vision equipment, audio surveillance, and according to reports from those involved, they witnessed things they could not explain. One investigator described seeing a large humanoid figure hiding in trees. Vampire, werewolf, come on. Others claimed they observed floating lights, massive unidentified creatures, strange electromagnetic disturbances, equipment failures, missing time experiences, and one of the most famous accounts involved a portal. Witnesses allegedly saw a glowing opening in the air. Then a creature crawled out. The story sounds unbelievable, and even many paranormal believers doubt it. But multiple people associated with the organization repeated versions of the event over the years. And what made Skinwalker Ranch unique wasn't just UFOs, it was the sheer variety of phenomena. Like, there was so much going on. Like,
Mm-hmm.
normally paranormal stories stay in one category: ghosts, aliens, cryptids, poltergeists, but Skinwalker Ranch seemed to combine all of them together,
Mm-hmm.
which led some hold on.
Sorry.
Which led some researchers to wonder, was the ranch causing hallucinations? Was there a psychological contagion, maybe environmental effects? Or was there actually something happening there beyond current understanding? Which is so strange to think about. I mean, like, maybe because of the way that like ley lines are set up, this is
Yeah.
causing things to happen.
I
Or
don't know if you talk about it in here, but
I do.
they do talk about the show, like
I
the
do.
radiation and stuff. Okay,
Yeah,
I won't
I
mention
do.
it all.
I do. I do. I go into the TV show. It's a own little section. Um, so one of the strangest concepts that's connected to the Skinwalker Ranch is something investigators later called the hitchhiker effect, where researchers and visitors claim the phenomenon sometimes followed them home.
Mm-hmm.
After leaving the ranch, people allegedly reported shadow figures, poltergeist activity, night terrors, excuse me, oh my gosh, UFO sightings, electronic disturbances, and some said family members experienced frightening paranormal events after they returned from the property. And this terrified investigators because it suggested the phenomenon wasn't limited to one location. It behaved almost intelligently, like it attached itself to the observers. And
Mm-hmm.
again, there's no scientific proof for this. But the sheer number of like similar reports made the idea famous within paranormal circles. And over time, stories around the ranch became darker and darker. And some researchers reportedly refused to continue nighttime work there. Others
Mm-hmm.
described overwhelming feelings of dread. And one researcher claimed to see a huge creature like just perched in a tree. And
Mm-hmm.
another reported hearing voices. Others claimed they experienced memory gaps. And the ranch was becoming less like a UFO story and more like a horror film, which is so crazy. And then came one of like the biggest twists of this story. The US government became involved. In 2007, the Pentagon quietly launched a secretive UFO research effort, later revealed as the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, known as AATIP. Parts of the program reportedly involved research connected to Skinwalker Ranch.
I was gonna
What?
say some shit. I was gonna go
A
tip.
tip.
I was gonna do tip.
Tip. This revelation shocked people because it suggested government agencies took these reports seriously enough to investigate. And military intelligence considered unidentified aerial phenomenon potentially important. Some researchers connected to the ranch later claimed classified studies occurred there involved strange aerial events and unexplained physics, but hard evidence remains scarce. And many of these documents and experiments were classified.
Mm-hmm.
They have the reports that it happened there, but they don't know the outcomes of any of it because it's all classified.
Is it still, or was it released?
That's a good question. I think it was released 2 years ago.
I think
When
Doug would know the answer to this, but I think you're right.
When the TV show started, I think that's like when all the documents came out during
Yeah.
20.
I think you're right. I think Doug definitely knows the answer to that. If I were to ask him, I know he would know.
And skeptics argued the government's interest proved only one thing, that officials investigate unusual claims sometimes. Not all the claims are true. But still, Skinwalker Ranch had officially crossed from fringe folklore into national attention. So,
I don't know why I thought you said French folklore. I was like, what?
French? Aw,
I don't know.
okay.
I'm not there right now.
You wouldn't understand why that makes me sad unless you watched The Boys.
I'm sorry.
Frenchie.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Okay. So we're just going to pause now and ask the central question, like what's actually happening at the ranch? Because there are several competing explanations.
Mm-hmm.
There's theory one, that it's a hoax and exaggeration, because many skeptics believe that the ranch stories grew through rumors, misidentifications, financial incentives. Hello? All the money for tours and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Media sensationalism. That was really hard.
I don't know. Sometimes you just get a word and you're like, it just won't come out.
I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, it just won't come out.
And critics also point out very little hard evidence has ever been released. Photos and videos are usually inconclusive, and extraordinary claims remain mostly anecdotal. Some scientists argue the stories became self-reinforcing mythology. People arrive expecting weird experiences and interpret normal events through that lens. Then there's, of course, environmental effects. Others suggest that there may be natural causes. The basin where the ranch is located actually contains unusual geology, magnetic anomalies, isolation, extreme weather, psychological stress factors, and some researchers think that the electromagnetic effects could influence perception or equipment.
Yeah.
And there's also real
We're just really tripping. I think I started us off bad.
Oh my god. There are also real atmospheric phenomenon in desert regions that can produce strange lights. Of course, the dust being kicked up, refracting off of your camera, that kind of thing. Could the ranch simply sit in an environment prone to unusual sensory experiences? Possibly, but believers say that explanation doesn't cover everything. But then there's also this theory that I also agree with is secret military testing. And this theory claims that the area had been used for classified aerospace testing, which is true. And this could potentially explain the strange aircraft, the lights, the radiation, electronic interference, but again, evidence remains speculative. And there's no confirmed military program that has been publicly tied to the ranch phenomena directly.
Yes, but they do stuff in that area.
They do.
A lot of stuff in that area.
They do. And then there's also theory 4, which is like genuine paranormal activity. Which makes the ranch legendary. And that's something truly unknown exists there. There could be interdimensional phenomena, which we'll talk about when we talk about the TV show in a little bit. Non-human intelligence, a portal, of course, and a location where reality behaves differently. And it sounds impossible, but for believers, the sheer number of witnesses over decades keep the mystery alive, which is why, and 2016, the ranch was purchased by Utah businessman Brandon Fogel.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon is also full of money, honey.
And very also into like
I love
hiring
Brandon.
research teams, like the whole nine.
I love Brandon. He is
Yeah.
such a baddie. If he was single, I'd hit him up. I'd be like, you would be perfect for me. You investigate UFOs? Okay, count me in. You
Mm-hmm.
flying
Yeah,
on
he
that
does.
helicopter to the ranch,
Mm-hmm.
baby? Okay, count me
Yeah.
in. He's probably not
Yeah,
that
isn't that interesting? They fly his brother. Isn't it his brother?
Oh, that's the
Yeah.
pilot.
Yeah, his brother is a pilot and he flies them into the ranch on a helicopter. What is that? What
He
is
doesn't wanna
that?
drive. He doesn't want to drive.
He doesn't want to drive. So he gets flown and he flies them into the ranch. Like what?
So badass.
Okay.
I love it. He's living his best Tom Cruise moment,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Unlike previous owners, Fogel eventually embraced the public attention. The ranch became the focus of the television series, which we love, The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch on Disney Plus. It's one of my favorite TV shows, mostly because they do the most outlandish experiments.
Oh my god. The shit that he does in this show is like he makes them like he gets like a digger, like whatever they're called, an excavator, and makes them like excavate like part of the ranch. And I'm not even getting into it, but it's like what?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh my god, it's crazy.
And so it brought all this modern technology into the investigation, which included drones, thermal cameras, laser mapping, ground penetrating radar, rocket launches. My favorite experiment.
Oh yeah, that was interesting.
And GPS tracking systems. And the series documented repeated reports of instrument malfunctions, GPS anomalies, strange aerial objects, sudden spikes in radiation, and a mysterious signal interference. What's most important is separating things that the team actually recorded and things they interpreted as unusual. And claims that remain purely anecdotal. Here are like the main pieces of like evidence that are like shown or discussed. So number one is UAPs. So the team captured fast moving lights, thermal anomalies, metallic looking objects on camera. And I just want to mention like what Nicole was talking about with the cows reacting.
Oh yeah.
The cows were freaking out this one time and they went over there. They got a high spike of radiation because they have like all of these cameras set up. They had a high spike of radiation. One of the cows was looking up and up in the freaking sky was a metallic object.
Yep.
Days later, that cow drops dead.
And all of the cows were like afraid and they were all like corralled on the other side of like where their like area was and they were like all like huddled together freaking out, odd behaviors, like, and that cow was just like all, and I think there was like something else, like it was like also like mauled or something, like there was like something like unexplainable, like it didn't die from the mauling.
No, it
that
died
was
from
like
something
post-mortem
else.
yeah, it was crazy.
It was so weird. And so the show like frequently claims that certain objects move too fast for the drones to catch them, lacked visible propulsion, or changed direction abruptly. But it's controversial because some skeptics argue many clips could be insects near the lenses, birds, lens artifacts, distant aircraft, satellites, and camera compression issues.
Right. That's all fair.
It's fair. And then obviously they don't release like the raw images for the audiences to look at. I typically
it's
like
only
pause.
enhanced.
Yeah, I typically pause when they pop up on the screen.
Yeah, we used to do the same thing.
Yeah. And then more things that keep on happening is like GPS and instrument failures. And this is like one of the most like consistent claims that they get. They showed drones losing connection once they reached a certain height.
Yep.
Above
that were
the
supposed
ranch.
to like that could go even higher than where they were at. Like they had like a military drone at one point and it was like it could go, I forget how high it could go, and it like would die basically like at a certain point, and then once it like came back down to like a certain point as it was falling, it would just come back on.
And it's so weird. And then this next one gives me chills. The GPS coordinates jumping. in the
Oh,
helicopter.
yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
remember that when they're riding in the
Yeah.
helicopter and they're trying to launch the rockets to see if they can get to that triangle point where all the drones
Mhm.
die?
Yeah.
The helicopter was saying that there's something underneath them.
Yeah.
Like, it was saying that they were closer to the ground than they were.
Yeah.
And and
And there
that
was
was
nothing there.
crazy. There was nothing there because you could literally see the camera
Yeah.
following them the whole time. It was
And
so
now
weird.
Brandon's brother, who's the pilot, he
Yeah.
was very particular to like in the show about like him flying like in and out of that area. So like they basically had to like convince him to like do this because like he was like not like on board. Like he's very safe about like flying in and out of there, so he was like so nervous about doing that. And like
That freaked
he
him
has
out.
his own he has his own things that like he's seen and experienced with flying in and out of there that he talks about on the show. So like that was like they had to like convince him to do that basically.
And that freaked him out like
Yeah,
really
it was
hard.
bad. Yeah.
There's obviously batteries that drain unusually fast. They had like that thermal imaging camera set up in the old homestead. They literally set it down and like the battery drained so quick. And then obviously the rockets failing unexpectedly when they were doing the rocket launches to the point there. So the point in the sky, I can't remember the distance that it is.
No, me neither.
But it's basically a huge triangle where if anything goes in there, shit goes wrong.
Yeah. Think of like the Bermuda Triangle basically, but like in the airspace above the ranch, and it is formulated as like a triangle. Basically. Yeah.
Which is insane. So they were launching rockets one night and they had a laser map set up. And so the rockets were just to fly up and then come down. Every single one of those rockets was like thrown off its direction, and like it seemed as if something like tipped it off to not even get it into the triangle, which freaked me the fuck out.
Yeah.
See, I love scientific experiments, so if anyone wants to
take
me on a UFO scientific experiment as a
my god,
hit me up. Hit me up.
Yeah. They what was they were basically about like the excavation thing. There's something like underneath like the ranch as well, like part of the ranch. They like kept finding like running water or what should have been, I forget what it was, but like it was also like trippy as hell.
Yeah, I think
because they were having yeah. I'll shut up.
No, you're good. You're totally good. There was also like GPS positions appearing underground, like, or far away from actual locations, like which is so weird. So like they would be saying that they were in one location when they weren't on the GPS. It was so strange. But obviously skeptics say that this could just be radio interference, software glitches, terrain effects, operator error, or electromagnetic interference from ordinary sources, aka the rock. That is literally what the ranch is built on.
Yeah, which is really what I do. I do strongly believe that.
I believe that too.
I do think a lot of the we'll talk about it towards the end, but
yeah.
You're good.
No, you're good. I thought you were gonna
I'm sure we'll talk about it. No, it's okay. We'll talk about it more at the end.
No, and like I believe that it's the rock primarily because of the radiation spikes.
Yeah.
Because the investigators like occasionally recorded sudden elevated radiation readings, microwave frequency anomalies, and unexplained electromagnetic activity. One incident though that freaked me out over at the homestead was a team member was receiving a temporary spike in radiation exposure readings while outdoors, and so he started getting like an intense migraine. And he was sent home, and then he went to the hospital because of how bad it was. And what happened, Nicole?
I don't even remember, but I do remember.
Brain bleed.
Yes. I do remember this.
Freaking brain bleed.
He had more problems after that.
Yeah.
And there's another guy. So that the guy that she's talking about was somebody that was a worker on the ranch itself. Like he was somebody that like went there every
Mm-hmm.
day, worked there. Like he was not like a necessarily part. Like he was like a ranch like hand,
Yeah.
basically. And then there's another guy who was also basically a ranch hand, who also had health problems because of radiation on the ranch, right? It was
Yeah,
both
it
of
was
them,
when they
or
were
he had
doing the
something
drill.
happen. I forget what
It was during
happened.
the
Yeah.
drilling experiment.
Yes, yes. But he had one of them had previous issues. I don't know if it was the guy with
I
the
don't know.
migraine or if it was the guy that had the
It was
with
the
the
guy with the
drilling.
migraine.
Uh,
The
I
guy
think
with the
maybe.
drilling, I think, was brand new because it was what was his name? He had a weird nickname.
I don't remember.
He has a
Oh, yes.
what is the weird
I'm
nickname?
pretty sure he was the one that I didn't like.
I don't like him.
Yeah.
He has a weird
He
nickname.
was the one that was like, "No, we're not doing
We're
this."
not drilling. We're not getting anyone near there.
Yeah. I
Because
couldn't stand that guy.
while they were drilling, they found this rock that like
Yeah.
couldn't be identified by the
Mhm.
University of Utah. They
Yep.
like could not identify what kind of rock it was. And it
Yep.
did have high levels of radiation.
Mhm.
I want to say that his name is like I was gonna say his name is like Shadow or something, but it's
I don't remember. I
Dragon.
literally can't.
Dragon.
Oh yes, Dragon. I hated him.
I
I
hated
hated
him.
him so
I
much.
hated him so much. So Dragon starts getting so sick, like because he
Yes.
touched the rock and he got so sick, and
Mhm.
I can't remember if he like went to the hospital and like had something happen to him or
I can't
I can't
remember.
remember,
Yeah. I
but
rewatched it so long ago
yeah,
now.
yeah. But critics obviously argue that the handheld meters can be misread, environmental sources may
Yeah.
exist. I think it's environmental sources.
Of course. That really that's what it is, but the unexplainedness of like the rock like
Like,
does
come
throw it out.
on.
That doesn't mean that it's not an environmental thing. It just means that they don't know. And
Yeah.
again, like it could be something that like came down like as part of a meteor, like something, you know what I mean? Like that they just haven't encountered yet. Which basically was the case. But that's still to me considered environmental. I don't necessarily consider that like
I don't
paranormal
think it's
or
paranormal. I mean,
alien. You know
no.
what I mean? Like it's just like eh.
I mean, like, and I think there's like a few studies where like certain types of rocks, if you're around them enough and they have radiation, can make you a little crazy. And on
Yeah.
top of that, on top of radiation and weird rocks being there, there's also this like weird 1.6 gigahertz signal that they
Yes.
keep on
Yes.
fucking detecting, dude.
Yes.
I hate it. I get chills talking about this fucking signal.
Yeah.
I have no idea why. I think it reminds
Yeah.
me of like that weird
It is. It's creepy.
that weird signal that we
Yeah.
sometimes get in the ocean. I don't know. It
I know
freaks
what
me
you're talking
out.
about. Yeah,
Um
it is weird.
and so this signal appears during all of the fucked up events.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have
Anytime something creepy happens, that signal is out there.
and like
Every time.
because like so this like frequency attracted attention because like hydrogen line frequencies around that range are important in radio
Mm-hmm.
astronomy, and researchers historically considered nearby frequencies potentially significant for communication
Yes.
with unknown people or
Yes.
things. Um,
Yes.
and why people got excited was that the show implied that the signal appeared intelligently timed,
Mm-hmm.
like we mentioned, it happened during
Mm-hmm.
all of the weird events, or it correlated with aerial phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, skeptics are saying that the 1.6 gigahertz frequencies are heavily used in satellites, GPS communications, and aviation.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to say every time that they film, they have like a no-fly zone around the ranch
So
because
they
they
do
do that.
check. Yeah, so they do check like what there's I don't know if it's every time, but I do know that they had checked like flight patterns and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that were in the area. I feel like I remember this that they had checked like a couple of times, or I don't know if it was every time or a couple of times, whatever, to see like when that frequency like was happening, if there
Mhm.
was some kind of like plane or something like in the area. And I think there wasn't. Like, maybe there was like one time or something like that, but it was a
It was
different
so
frequency that was
far
being
too.
admitted, or what. I forget what it
It
was,
was, like,
but
far
yeah.
off. It was, like, over the
Yeah.
hill from them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I can understand being skeptical and saying that, like,
Yeah.
detecting signals in that range is not inherently extraordinary, but I
Right.
mean, like,
Right.
these like, there's a literal astronomer that's, like, with them, and, I don't know. I think it's just
Yeah.
creepy, and,
I agree.
another thing that freaks me out too is the thermal anomalies that they pick up
Mm.
on their
Yeah.
FLIR thermal cameras. Um, they showed like unexplained cold spots, heat signatures with no visible source, like out in the fields by the
Mm-hmm.
cows. Aerial thermal objects that you don't see with your own eye, but you see in the thermal.
You
Um,
remember when they went up the mountain or the
yeah,
hill that's right there? That was
yeah.
creepy as fuck. They camped out at the base of it to do an experiment. Oh my god, that was creepy as fuck.
Go into it. Tell me
Yeah.
more.
Oh, what were they doing? Were they doing thermal or they were mapping
They
something?
were mapping the cave because they said that there was a
Yes, yes,
cave.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, which I think had to do with the underground, like the thing that they were drilling. Yeah, I
yeah,
can't remember.
yeah, yeah. Freaky. I mean, they do
Yeah,
the
so
craziest
freaky.
experiments.
Yeah.
And like sometimes the anomalies would appear like hovering, like it would not be touching the ground. They would
Mm-hmm.
be over the fields. They would be moving rapidly, like insanely fast, or appearing where nothing visible existed, like I mentioned. But of course, there's like problems with like interpretation with those
Of course.
thermal devices because they are tricky.
Yeah.
It can always change with like atmospheric distortion,
Of course.
reflective surfaces, animals, dust, and of course, user error, like calibrating it wrong.
Yep.
It can create misleading images. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Still, the there's some clips where I'm like, you cannot explain that at all.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
they mapped the homestead with
Mm-hmm.
like 3D models, and there's this one part of the homestead that got completely wiped, but everything
Yep.
else was still existing. Like it was like one
Mm-hmm.
room where that data was completely wiped from the camera, and it's like,
Yep.
how does that happen?
Yeah.
How? Um and then this is probably our favorite one, the underground structures in the
Yes.
cavities.
Yes.
um,
I'm obsessed with this
this is
so bad.
crazy.
Yeah.
So one major storyline, I think for a season, they
Mhm.
focused on
Yeah.
this, involved the mesa on the property. What they
Mm-hmm.
found using ground penetrating radar, LiDAR, drilling, and seismic measurements, the team claimed to detect underground voids, metallic reflections, and tunnel like anomalies. At one point, they recovered fragments of metal, like we mentioned, that could not be
Mm-hmm.
identified, which they suggested had unusual properties.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, there's no actual like peer-reviewed confirmation has
Yeah.
shown alien materials or advanced technology or impossible structures, but I want to point out there's this huge cavity that they mapped, and beneath the cavity was something disc like there's an opening and then there's a
Mm-hmm.
hard metal disc in the
Mm-hmm.
cavity, and
It's a transformer.
it's a transformer. It's freaking Megatron.
That's literally all I kept saying when we were watching. I'm like, it's a transformer, guys. I'm like,
It's freaking
it's a
Megatron.
transformer.
He's
Yeah.
gonna come out and when
Yeah.
it's time. But I still get freaked out about that because
No,
like
yeah, I
what
do
do you
too.
mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean that there's like I mean
I'm not somebody who would feel comfortable to explore like caverns, caves, like any of that
You're
stuff
not a
because like
sklerdunker. What are they called?
no, it freaks me out. I'm so afraid. I've just listened and like heard too many like horror. It freaks me out. It literally freaks me out. I don't think I could do it. But I like to watch people do it, and I like to see all of the stuff that's in there. So I'm like, this is one that interests me so much that like maybe, but I still don't think I would because the radiation is crazy there.
It's so weird. Like there's just
Crazy.
random spots of
Yeah.
radiation where it's just like, what the hell? Where does
Yeah,
that come
and like
from?
here's the thing, it's like concentrated to like certain
Yeah.
spots. Like it's not like like radiation you get like a lot. Like normally it's like a bigger field area. I mean it can be concentrated spots, but like the way it's concentrated to certain areas of the and like then there's nothing there to explain it. So
Right.
a lot of like what the radiation that like they deal with is do you talk about where it originally came from? um I don't want to.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Do I?
I'm gonna shut up again.
Hmm. I'm just double checking. Hold on. No, I don't actually.
Okay.
Go for it.
So this area is where they did a lot of like nuclear and like different kind of like testing. So there it gets swept up and it's basically like think of like a I don't want to say a dome, but like kind of a dome.
No,
Like it
yeah,
just
it's a
like it
dome.
gets stuck. It's like almost like a valley almost. It
Yeah.
gets stuck in this area. So the radiation basically got trapped and like now you're trapping it in sand and like whole like areas that just like it's gonna get stuck kind of. So like that is where part of the radiation like has come from. And they do talk about it in the show. Like they do talk about like hey, like this was a thing, like there is radiation here from this, from testing, like blah, blah, blah. But then, like, there's certain spots where it's just like, it doesn't make sense. Why is it only like the homestead?
Like
Like
there's no
where it's
reason.
concentrated there, like the main guy that we keep talking about, not the guy that owns it, but the guy that he brings in, like that does the TV show. I forget what his name is. I can't believe I forgot what his name is.
I'll look it up.
He gets like hurt like at the homestead, like from like he gets like basically like a radiation burn. And like gets like sick and like whatever and it's just like like it's just weird like where it comes from. Like it doesn't act normal is what I guess like
Travis Taylor.
yes, Travis Taylor. Yes.
He was like in NASA and he was also a
Yes.
Department of Defense projects
Yep.
manager. So like he understands this.
Qualified. Like this
He's
is like his
so
wheelhouse.
qualified.
Like this is what he did. Like this is what he did.
Yeah.
With the government. He's in like a lot of documentation, a lot of stuff that has like come out that has been released. Like he was in a lot of these like classified things. And he was approached like during his time there by the government, which they do talk about. Jordan already mentioned it. Like he was approached by the government to talk about like his findings, like what he was finding while he was there as well.
Yeah.
So like this is a thing and I don't know.
I completely forgot that he got burned because I think that was like in the first season where they focused on the homestead. It was
either the first, yeah, maybe it was first or second. I can't remember. Yeah. But yeah, he got like a radiation burn and he got like really sick and he had to like the doctor told him that like he couldn't do anything. Like he had to like stay in his like trailer for like a week or something. Like, he was so mad.
He was so pissed. I love
He was so mad.
Yeah,
he's so funny. And his UFOs.
His UFOs.
I know. As soon as he changed to UAPs, I was like, give me back my UFOs.
UFOs. So also on top of like the helicopter experiment with the rockets, they also used the helicopter for like LiDAR scanning of the whole ranch. And during that there was this like really weird, unusual shape or void inside the mesa, which they also confirmed it was the disc shape, basically, is where that came from. And like obviously people are saying that like it's artificial or like not doesn't really exist, but to be honest, to me that's weird. Like there could be a cave down there, but like it's sealed off. Like I don't know, sections of the cave are like sealed off, so you can only go in so far, because it's basically made of rock, like this gigantic mesa made of rock, which was really weird. I don't know. This show is just so good. I'm so obsessed with it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
truly and honestly, it's one of my favorite things. But while we're talking about like the biological effects on humans, obviously we talked about headaches, the dizziness, nausea,
Mhm.
fatigue, skin irritation, and they linked those to those like electromagnetic spikes, radiation
Mhm.
readings, or when aerial phenomena showed up.
Yep.
Um, the thing is, though, this can all happen because of stress. They're under a lot of stress. You have because
Yeah.
Brandon Fogel really wants to like get this all figured out.
Yeah.
He has like a specific timeline where they can come to the ranch because during the winter it's like
Yeah.
inaccessible.
Yeah.
And so they have pressure from him. There's like expectations also from him
Yeah.
and the organizations involved. I mean,
Yeah. And I will say he does, like, at least in the show, like, talk about safety and wanting to make sure that everybody's safe. So, like, he would make sure that, like, they were being safe. And if he felt it was, he was going to pull the plug. But I don't know if that was just for the show or what. You know what I mean? Like, because he
yeah.
would get pushy too. He'd be like, I want this done.
He does get pushy and he acts like a
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe him. He acts like a big CIA agent and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I just like him a lot.
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
funny.
he's not like a handsome man, guys, okay? I
Yeah.
just like that he's so dedicated to this.
He's so funny about it.
He really is. Um, and also dehydration. They're out in the
Yeah.
heat for so long and
Mhm.
it's hot. It's hot out there.
Mhm.
They could also be anxious. Obviously, these weird things have been happening and they're just like kind of a little
Yeah.
scared
Yeah.
about what's going to happen next. But no publicly released medical evidence has confirmed paranormal causes. I disagree with that. But critics say the show dramatizes events heavily for television. I don't think so. I think they're just like freaked out when anything happens. I mean, when you have
Yeah.
someone on your team who comes back with a brain bleed after these high spikes
Yeah.
of radiation and phenomena, I would be freaked out too.
Yeah.
Not
I mean, they obviously, like, they B-roll, like, you know, them saying the same thing, like, time over and over again, which does make it a bit more. Also, they're a bunch of men.
it's a bunch of there's one woman I think that comes on the later
Yeah.
seasons.
They're dramatic as
They're
fuck. What
so
do you
dramatic.
mean? They're so dramatic about everything.
So dramatic.
They're so dramatic about everything, especially because this is something that they're all, like, super, like, paranoid and, like, into and trying to read. Like, they're so dramatic about everything.
They really are. That's a
It's just
good
a bunch of
point.
scientists. I feel like scientists can be kind of dramatic sometimes, like, in their own rights, and they kind of are. I mean, I don't know.
That's such a good point. Supporters like me argue the experiments still reveal genuinely odd data, and
I do agree.
the truth is, even today, nobody agrees on what exactly is happening on the
Yeah.
ranch. So now let's go through like one of like the most like infamous like incidents, just like one by one. So there was one story describes investigators hearing something massive moving through brush. They reportedly saw footprints appear in the snow, but nothing was visible creating them. And the track suddenly stopped mid stride. No continuation, as if whatever made them disappeared. That freaks me out.
Yeah.
And this was before the TV show because they don't allow them to be there during the winter. And also, like, filming in Utah winter would be terrible. So this
Oh,
was
everything would break. Everything would
everything
break
would
times
be
10.
terrible.
Yeah.
So most of these are during the Sherman time.
Mhm.
There was the dire wolf encounter, kind of like we mentioned. The giant wolf
Werewolf.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Jacob.
Yeah.
Remains one of the ranch's foundational legends. Witnesses insisted that the creature showed impossible resistance to gunfire, and some later described it almost like something materializing temporarily into reality. And then there's blue orbs. Multiple witnesses described glowing blue orbs floating silently through the fields. And there's one time in the episode where that happens. I think in the homestead, they get multiple orbs moving in a really weird way. And of course, like, that could just be bugs. I don't think so. Bugs don't reflect light like that.
Yeah.
And in some accounts, the orbs allegedly cause physical harm to animals, where you could see them attack a cow, and the cow will literally like moo really loud as if they like got hurt. Others claims that the lights intelligently reacted to people watching them. So if you were watching them, they would suddenly dim and go away. And then perhaps the wildest account ever connected to the ranch involves an orange glowing portal opening in midair. Witnesses allegedly claim they saw a humanoid creature, like I mentioned, emerge from it before disappearing into darkness. But there's no evidence that this happened publicly. But the story became central to the ranch mythology.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why, like, this show and this like story about this ranch like is so popular because the fear of the unknown. Like, you don't understand like what's happening or why it's happening, and like that fear that the world is stranger than we think. And honestly, I think that's why it attracted like so many scientists, billionaires, government investigators.
Because they want to figure it out.
Because come on, I mean, there's this whole, I mean, during in the beginning of the season, they had weird people come on the ranch. Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
Where they like all showed up in like black SUVs.
Oh, yes.
On the mesa, and they were being watched. It's the government. They didn't want them to do those experiments. And so like I think that's what makes it also interesting, because
that's what with Taylor, that's when he gets like approached in the first season. I think he got approached. He got a phone call about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And they like had to like run through a couple of things they were doing with the government because they didn't want them to do certain things. And
which just makes the story of it so crazy. And that it also gives it unusual like staying power. Like obviously if the government's involved and wants to be involved, even like the most harsh skeptics admit that something happened there that deeply disturbed these intelligent people. Because like it's not just a bunch of randos that are experimenting here. Like Travis Taylor has been a member of the Department of Defense and has testified to Congress about UAPs. And he
had to testify to Congress about Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah. So like these people are smart. They're just not a bunch of hillbillies. But like maybe it's not aliens and maybe it's not portals, but enough unexplained events accumulated to create one of the most endearing paranormal mysteries in modern America. And there's another reason the story survives. The ranch never provides closure. There's like no definitive proof and no final answer. Just fragments, stories, shadows, and lights in the sky. And that uncertainty keeps people obsessed, because once you hear the stories, you start wondering, what if 5% of this is true? And honestly, I think most of it is true. I'm a crazy conspiracy theorist, and I'll put on my tinfoil hat when I need to. So what do you think? Is Skinwalker Ranch a giant paranormal hoax, a psychological phenomenon, secret military experimentation, or evidence that something genuinely unknown exists in the Utah desert? Whatever the truth is, the ranch remains active, still investigated, and still controversial, and still producing stories that sound impossible. But somewhere in the basin, under those dark desert skies, people are still watching for lights. And there's still a TV show. So, I mean, once that TV show ends, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's one of my favorite.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. They, I don't know. I think there's a multi-factor. I don't think it's just one thing.
I don't think
like
so
we've
either.
been saying. I think it's environmental. Paranormal is a wide term for things that are happening outside of the normal realm of the way things. So like it's not just ghosts, it's not just, you know, like that kind of paranormal means that like there's just an unnormal anomaly happening like somewhere. And whether that's ghosts or aliens or whatever, like I do think that like there's a factor in there. I do heavy believe in aliens, so I think they're like heh, like
They're
playing
just fucking
around or
around.
something. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's got to be something there. But again, environmental, and yeah, there definitely was, like we've already discussed, like there was government activity that happened there a long time ago. That's
I think
definitely still
still.
causing issues. Yeah.
I
No,
think
there is.
still.
They just still do stuff in that area. It's
Yeah.
just not. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
I think it just gets caught in the basin.
yeah, literally. Because like it's kind of the perfect place. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
truly and honestly. I mean, it's one of my favorite TV shows. So please get Disney Plus and watch it because my God, it's so good.
It's good.
So good. Well, guys,
Yes.
thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
And whether it's crime, conspiracy, or just straight up spooky, we're going to keep talking about it. Like, follow, comment, and stay tuned for new episodes each week because it will just keep getting dark and spooky from here. So stay nosy and stay spooky, and we'll see you next time.
And don't forget to send in your stories. Gore&Gossip@gmail.com.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.